all you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people out there. July 12th, Monday. What a weekend in sports, man. What a week in sports. Just to recap it all, it's pretty nuts. We got the Tour de France. Of course, we got England at Italy. That was my first time to be caught up with a bunch of English guys and girls and Scottish people and just people from all around the UK. But that was pretty intense to watch. 2 minutes, get a goal, fastest goal ever. Might have been a double-edged sword for them as they went into full defensive mode. Sterling wasn't there, but went to PK with Italy. Italy pretty much roared back the second half and just never took their foot off the pedal, it seemed like. Penalty kicks went down to it, and I feel so bad for the 19-year-old guy that just all the pressure of a country just comes down to the shoulders of a 19-year-old man. And, hopefully it'll make him stronger. Pressure busts pipes or makes diamonds. So that's the bottom line of that. And I hope for his sake that it's he turns into a diamond, because 19, obviously he's a great soccer player, but it's just hard, and he's got a lot of soccer left in front of him, so hopefully that turns him into a diamond. And then bringing it to the Tour de France, like I said, I live here. I told you about somebody that just won the mountain bike classics in the U.S. They're gonna have the collegiate championships here, and a person that just won a leg in the Tour de France, Cuss. He's from right here, man. And I talk about my town with athletes like somewhere you'd think there'd be millions of people. No, there's like 17,000 people here. So really proud to have world-class athletes here, world-class podcast host right here with you. But my point is this is a town of winners and competitive people, and I enjoy it. And I'm just as competitive, and we're just talking about competitiveness. We'll close out with Giannis tonight, but I am so pumped. Today's episode is so great. I'm going to be doing the WarriorBowl mock draft, guys. Like I told you, WarriorBowl 2021. I participated in last year. Somehow, I made it all the way to the finalists. Don't ask me. I didn't think I was going to make it out of the divisionals with the Trojan division, hard division last year. Ended up being in the finalists and getting fourth in that. And guys, we are going to be using FantasyPros. Man, I took photos. It was so easy. I've been paying for the FantasyPros. Been doing mock drafts from their wizard draft for about, or their draft wizard for about, 3 years now. And what I told you guys I like about it is I can go in and I can do 10 mock drafts by the time you guys do one with other people who are playing with their own rules, who are, drafting for their league, not your league. They don't even know what your league point system is like. So they're drafting for their league. And most of those mock drafts are just like standard scoring, and that's cool if that's the kind of league you're in. I feel like most people, after you play a couple of years in standard, you want to have some customization. If you get to know the right commissioner, they like putting their touch on it and so forth. And, so I think once you really get serious into it, you're going to have some custom scoring, right? And man, with the FantasyPros, like I've had my league of scored in here for years, so it's just auto-populates for me. But I went into Sleeper, I typed in my name, IDP Iggy, boom, it found the league right away. Just auto-populate, just by me putting up my name. Oh, which league do you want? After I did that, I was like, oh, so you're in the WarriorBowl 2021 Bruce Lee division. I was like, yeah. Boom, clicked it on. And then now here we are again. It says the teams. It says the league rules, how many positions you have to have, how many rounds there are, how many picks are broke down. I mean, guys, FantasyPros, I got the affiliate code. I just need you guys to hop on board with it, man, and take a look. And it'll help you so much, man. Just go use the code. You'll get a discount on there. Try it out. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. If you play in multiple leagues, you can set up every league and just click one. Oh yeah, I'm mocking this one today. All right. But the WarriorBowl draft, it even has it when it's going to be drafted. We're less than 10 days away from it right now. It's a pretty amazing thing. I'm really pumped to be in the WarriorBowl 2021 division. And guys, the charity league, let me mention that one as well. We're filling it up. We were able to fill up a complete conference. We've almost got 2 conferences filled up, so that doesn't leave very many spots. So please join on there. And I'll tell you a special announcement after we get this draft done. But Bruce Lee division, I'm coming at you. This is no punches pulled. You can get right into my mind if you dare. And when this little mock draft, and it's synced with Sleeper Duplicate League, we're going to go start a mock draft. Randomly select where we're going to be. Let's see. Drafted at the 10th position. It is set up like so. WarriorBowl, there we go. I'll read off the first ones, and after that, you know, guys, how I know I do it. I'll kind of read the last 4 or 5 picks before I get back to my pick. Kind of on the turn here with number 2 will be an interesting place to start it. You know, it takes it a little bit to get this configuration ready, get all the computers in there. And what I like about Fantasy Pros, guys, is once you draft with it once, like I said, I'll turn around and do about 5 mocks in a row and really figure out in my style of points and the customization of my league, WarriorBowl league, where are these people really going? Because when you look at ADP on other leagues, that's just not going to translate to your league. Like, I know, for example, JD McKissick, for some reason, every one of you out there are letting him fall to like the 140s, even though Antonio Gibson has a turf toe and very possibly will miss a lot of games this year. A turf toe is a serious injury, guys. I think it took me like 2 or 3 years to get over. I didn't know what it was, but it was definitely a sprained big toe, and it took me a long time to really get back to it. And even now, if I really like push off my toe a lot, if I'm doing something where I'm up on my toes a lot, I really feel it still to this day. So that's just something to keep in mind there. And this is the Super Flex League, and here we go. They're flying off the board. Let's go recap the top 9. Christian McCaffrey, that was 4th and 1-inch punch. How you like that? And it's got all the names for them. It's kind of cool. I didn't upload any of this. It just went in there and put it all in there. So you're going to get used to seeing the names. You're going to get used to seeing all this. It's really, really good. Highly recommend you click on the link. You go start drafting for Fantasy Pros. But let's get into it. 101, Christian McCaffrey. 2, Dalvin Cook. 3, Josh Allen. 4, Patrick Mahomes. 5, Derrick Henry. 6, Kyler Murray. 7, Saquon Barkley. 8, Alvin Kamara. 9, Jonathan Taylor is on the clock. Like I said, they have suggestions. They have the draft board. I just almost always use the cheat sheet because it's just a fun way to let me see how many quarterbacks have gone, how many running backs have gone, and that's all we've had so far. We've had 3 quarterbacks, and we've had 6 running backs go. We got Nick Chubb, Ezekiel Elliott, Aaron Jones, Cam Akers left in this one. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. I mean, every wide receiver you want. You know, they got Calvin Ridley ranked 4th up here. That's a little high for me. But let's see here. I think I got to take in a Super Flex League, WarriorBowl. You know the scoring of your league. I think I got to take Lamar Jackson. I can't let him walk. I think he's going to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful year. People are knocking him, but I think this is a comeback year for Lamar. And I'm riding with him. So Dak off the board, Ezekiel, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones off the board. Now we're looking at Cam Akers, Antonio Gibson, Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins. All the wide receivers are there. Let's see. What do we got to have in this league again? You got to have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, tight end, flex, super flex, and a kicker. Oh, that's a lot going on. Running back. So you got to have... Yeah, you got to get some running backs, man. Cam Akers, I'm just not as high on as everybody. You know what? I normally don't. I got to do this. Oh, man. It's just so hard. So hard. I think I got to take Najee Harris. I'm rolling with him. Austin Eckler is hard for me to pass up on. Man. This is tough. Austin Eckler, we're doing it. I'll take him. There we go. So we lined up with Lamar Jackson and Austin Eckler. Hard on that turn. If you're on the turn, 10 or 11, you don't have but 30 seconds to make a pick. You better be using that draft kit and have the tier ready for you and go through there and just mark off the Iggy's off the tier, which ones you want, man. All right, we're back around. Let's go take a look at some of the last people that were drafted. Let's see. The last people drafted off of recently, we got last one's off the board. J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, D.K. Metcalf, George Kittle, Russell Wilson, A.J. Brown. The suggestion is to take Michael Thomas, round out my big 3. Man, I don't think I'm going to do that. Running backs, we got Chris Carson, David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift. Quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Ryan Tannehill, Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. Let's see, a lot of good points out there. Darren Waller sitting there at the tight end. I'm just going to lock up the guy I consider to be one of the best tight ends in the game. He's going to be my primary pass catcher. Let's see what happens. Darren Waller, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Michael Thomas. So the quarterbacks are flying off. I'm going to wait. I have a quarterback I really like. So we're looking at Chris Carson, David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift. Let's see what we're looking at here. Josh Jacobs still there. Kareem Hunt, Mike Davis. I'm going to go ahead and lock up my man, David Montgomery. Get the 2 running backs. It's just, even in a 12-team league, they go so fast. Super flex. You're going to have to flex out the booty in this league to make it happen. Julio Jones off. Amari Cooper off. Let's see. We got DJ Moore, Robert Woods, Adam Thielen, Kenny Golladay, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Lockett, Odell Beckham, T. Higgins. So we've got a lot of wide receivers left. Mike Thomas is there. Raheem Mostert, Damian Harris, Chase Edmonds, Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. We're going to sit on some of those guys. Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield. Let's see here. Tom Brady's got all his weapons. Matt Ryan, he's got quite a few weapons. I just don't know how good they're going to be. Trevor Lawrence, who knows what's going to happen with that offense, in all honesty. Let's go ahead and lock up Kirk Cousins. We're going to roll with Lamar and Kirk. Let's see, when's the bye week? Let's see here. We're going to roll with Kirk. Yeah, Kirk Cousins, guys. Rolling with the 2 quarterbacks in a super flex league. You're going to want 2 QBs, and Kirk Cousins is great. He's just not as appreciated as much, All right, we're back on the turn. That's the crazy thing about this. You just, at 10, you got a couple picks, and then you're back at it. Let's see. So between my pick, I took Kirk Cousins. We had Raheem Mostert, DJ Moore, Adam Thielen, and Robert Woods. Thought about getting Adam Thielen. I was going to try to double down with him if he was still there. We still got Kenny Golladay, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Lockett, Odell Beckham Jr., T. Higgins. I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp here. I think he'll be a high-volume wide receiver. I think Kenny Golladay has a chance to get some good games. They got a really good playoff schedule. I just think the Rams are going to have to be playing competitively throughout 4 quarters. I don't think they're going to be blowing any away. I know they're really popular for a lot of people. But he had 92 receptions last year on 124 targets, 974 yards, only 3 TDs. But 92 targets in a PPR format, it's hard to pass up. So we've established it. So to run back what we've got so far, we've got Lamar Jackson, Austin Eckler, David Montgomery, Cooper Kupp, and Darren Waller. Kirk Cousins in our super flex. Lamar Jackson had a bye week 8. Kirk Cousins had a bye week 7. It's looking pretty good. All right, we got James Robinson coming up, Ronald Jones, David Johnson, Chase Claypool, DJ Shark, Deebo Samuel. Kickers are still there. We got Dallas Goedert, Noah Fant, Robert Tonyan. Staying away from the tight ends. I locked up Darren Waller. I'll just have to get a tight end that doesn't have a bye week 8 to cover for injuries and so forth and stuff like that. James Robinson in Jacksonville. It's hard to pass him down. I think Brandon Cooks is there, Robbie Anderson, Deebo Samuel. I think there's some wide receivers I like that are a little later than this that I'm going to roll with. The wide receivers are flying off the board, man. I think I'm going to have to get David Johnson. He's a starting running back. This is a little earlier than I like to do it. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to take James Robinson. I haven't had many shares of him. The 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, that's hard to let go, let by. So shoring up the running back room, Austin Eckler, David Montgomery, now James Robinson in the flex. Do have 2 running backs with the bye week 7. Something to keep an eye on. I just really don't like any of these wide receivers at the top tier. I really like Jarvis Landry, but he's sitting back at the 41st ranking. Michael Gallup I like, Mike Williams I like. So I like this. There's about 8 or 9 wide receivers in front of that could go. So I'm just going to try to shore up as much as possible the running back room right now in such a kind of competitive league with all these flexes. So I got David Johnson. Say what you want. I went ahead and got my guy. So we got a week 10. We got 2 running backs on week 10, 2 running backs on week 7 buys. So we definitely need to get somebody else to supplement them on the week so they're not just so heavily targeted on just those guys. Right now, so now here we are. All these guys I like that I mentioned are still there. We took a gamble. Sometimes you got to do that, especially on the turn. If you're in the top 2, top 3 picks, bottom 2, bottom 3 picks, always make sure that you're kind of like, well, that's when some people like to use ADP. In my mind, I'm like, who's available ahead of them to where are these guys going to, even if you're drafting with people you've never drafted with before, you can kind of typically know. Some people are going to have the same targets you do. That's just how it is, especially if you're good. Bottom line, if you're good, there's people are going to have the same targets as you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shore up Jarvis. He's my guy. 72 receptions, 840 yards, 5 touchdowns, all with broken ribs. So here's a fun fact. Landry's just, so this is Fantasy Pros. They also give you stuff. Me, myself, I try to just roll with what I got. I do so much research and so much time invested into my philosophy. I don't really want anybody else's opinion kind of coming on me, whether it's anybody. But this is some pretty good, useful stuff. Here's a fun fact. Landry's just one of 7 wide receivers who have finished as a top 24 fantasy wide receiver in 5 of the last 6 years. Julio Jones, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Brandon Cooks, and Amari Cooper are the others. You know, it's just, so what does that tell you? Landry's going so much later than the rest of these guys. He's always been a stud for me. I'm going to draft him. He's going to be coming in as my wide receiver too. So I've gone Cooper Kupp, Jarvis Landry. Maybe not the biggest touchdown guys, but high volume PPR guys. I'm going to back that up with Mike Williams right here. So we just loaded up our wide receiver room just like that. I think he's got a great chance to develop with Justin Herbert. God forbid if Keenan Allen doesn't play a full 17 games, Mike Williams is going to have to be the guy. And I think that there's some pretty good potential for this offense to take a good lead. I mean, they were saved by Justin Herbert running around. I mean, y'all remember him scrambling and running into that linebacker and the linebacker getting concussed, right? I mean, we forget how much Justin Herbert ran around and what he was able to do. I think it's going to be a step up for this year. Mike Williams locking it in. So pretty much we've got our starting lineup set right here, guys. Lamar Jackson, Austin Eckler, David Montgomery, Cooper Kupp, Jarvis Landry, Mike Williams, Darren Waller. In the flex right now, we got James Robinson, David Johnson, and Kirk Cousins riding in our super flex. We're starting to get into some deep wide quarterbacks. You know, not much out there. Carr, Fields, Darnold, Lance, Wilson, Goff, Garoppolo, Bridgewater, Locke, Deshaun Watson, some guys you may not really want on your squad necessarily. For the running backs, we're looking at Devin Singletary, Jamal Williams, Phillip Lindsay's still there. And that's one thing I've been doing. I don't like to handcuff running backs in redraft leagues, but with as deep as this league is, it might be good to just kind of lock up one. But here he is, always so late, always so late. He had 85 rushing attempts, 365 yards, and he had 80 catches as a running back with 589 yards and 3 touchdowns. What are you guys smoking? Go get this guy. He's on every one of my teams just about. And welcome back, J.D. McKissic. Yeah, baby. They said a slight reach. That's all right. That's all right with me, man. Marvin Jones Jr., T.Y. Hilton, Jalen Rager, Cole Beasley, John Brown, Nelson Aguilar. You know what? I just got to have to go ahead and lock up, I think. T.Y. Hilton. Yeah, I think I'm going to get T.Y. Hilton. Guys, let me tell you something. I've been super big on the Colts. I'm not a Colts fan. I didn't grow up being a Colts fan. I've never really cheered for the Colts. In fact, I never really liked Peyton Manning. I respect him and I really appreciate him, and I was glad I watched him. But he wasn't like one of my guys I rooted for all the time, you know. But having said that, I think the Frank and Carson relationship is being very undervalued. I think there was just, I don't know. In Philly, it's just like sometimes when you're in these situations, it seems like everything's going wrong. I've been in work situations like that. I've been on football games like that and football seasons like that. And I just think that was just what it was. It was just bad vibes, bad personal relationships, a lot of, you know, Philly's a hard place to be doing bad at. I mean, he went from being almost MVP, leading his team to one of the best regular seasons. Nick Foles takes over, goes on the playoff run, but Carson Wentz was still a big part of the success of that season. Second overall pick, and now he's on a new team. That's what blows my mind about Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. We're 5 years away from them being the 1-2. Each one of them have led their team to a Super Bowl, and they're already on different teams. That's how saturated the quarterback market is, and that's how much blinded people are with the hope of having some college quarterback come in and save your franchise and getting that rookie deal. It's hard. It's going to be really hard, so watch what's going on out there. All right, we're back around. Let's take a look at some of these last picks real quick. Looks like Jamison Crowder's on the board, somebody else that I kind of often see getting. Jalen Rager, Robert Tonyan, Phillip Lindsay, he went off the board. Dang it. See, that was a risk you got to take sometimes. Nelson Aguilar, Wilson is off the board. So let's get back to our cheat sheet. Seems like 41% of the experts think I should draft Jamison Crowder out of the New York Jets. I think he's going to get traded. Very good possibility that happens. So let's see here. Alexander Madison, Tariq Cohen. I think we're pretty good. As of right now, we have 5 running backs. That's pretty good, you know. I can't really complain with that. Let's see. Derek Carr's available. It's a heck of a super flex to have some weeks with Lamar being pretty much my starter every week. Kirk Cousins in the super flex. It's a very interesting pick. I think I'm going to have to hold off. We'll see if he was there here in a little bit. And we're going to try to look at some of these wide receivers. Sterling Shepard, what were his numbers last year? Let's take a look at that real quick. He's got 12 games, 66 receptions, 90 targets, 656 yards, 4 touchdowns. They did bring in Tony, the rookie coming in. It's sure they lowered the target, but again, I think Shepard's a good pick. I'd rather have Shepard than Crowder or any of these other guys. So, yeah, Shepard, we're going to lock it up. We almost went with Kenny Galladay. We've got a week 10 wide receiver buy, so now our wide receivers are 10, 11, 13. If you stick around to them, I don't put as much weight into that as other teams, So we'll just have to take a look at that. Derek Carr, he does get hurt some. I may just try to hang out with one of these rookies. Let's see here. Noah Fant's available. Man, that's a hard one to pass up on, really. Let's go ahead and lock up Noah Fant. I think he's got a chance to do just as well as any of these wide receivers or running backs available. And then we're going to go ahead and have our second tight end. Denver's got a late bye week 11. So we're keeping our tight ends in the AFC West. And when you think about it, Kelsey, Waller, Fant, and now Cook for San Diego, all of a sudden, that's a really great tight end division. I don't think you can really go wrong. The thing is, the defenses are going to be set up with safeties to kind of match up on these tight ends because that is a great tight end division, honestly. All right, we're back around. We got Jimmy G, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock. Some of the rookies went. I took a gamble, and I took Noah Fant at tight end. I think he can help out in some flex weeks. But I lost out on all the rookie quarterbacks. So there they are. They're gone. No big deal, though. Running backs, we still got Kenneth Gainwell, Marlon Mack, Giovanni Bernard, Darrell Williams, Josh Kelly, Malcolm Brown, Carlos Hyde, Benny Snell Jr., Justin Jackson. So pretty good. There's some stuff there late. It's going to be interesting once you get in that kind of area of where you can kind of go with it. I might take a reach right here, honestly. Alan Lazard's there. This is going to be a little bit of a reach. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and lock up the best kicker. Here's a strategy I like to employ. Justin Tucker had a little bit of a dip in production last year. He made 26 field goals and 52 extra points. Kind of an off year for him. Missed 3 field goals. Finished 8th, but I do think the Ravens are bouncing back this year. I wouldn't have told you guys I'm so high on Lamar. I wouldn't have took Lamar in this mock draft. I told you guys this is me. This is what I would be doing if I was the 10th overall pick in the Bruce Lee division, and I'm coming to win it, baby. But let's go ahead and lock up our kicker. Boom. Justin Tucker, we got him. We know he's got a week 8 bye. No big deal. Now, no matter what, people are like, well, why would you double down like that? I think it's a great double down with having a quarterback and a kicker. Now, as long as you're driving down the field, let's say you run into a really good red zone defense, well, at least you're getting the field goals, right? And that's better than walking away, driving down the field and not getting anything. Now I have potential, and then every time that the Ravens score a touchdown, in theory, you think they're going to walk Justin Tucker out there, who's Mr. Reliable, get that one extra point. Boom. All right, so say what you want. I think it's a very good strategy to double down like that. Okay, the quarterbacks are getting thin. I'm going to take Tyrod Taylor. Superflex League, you need 3. He's almost always there, but I wasn't going to take the chance of him not being there on these 20 picks coming back around. That's a hard one. So let's see. They're starting to flow off now. We're getting into some deep dives right where everybody needs to be. Let's see. There's some good tight ends available out there. Paris Campbell, Alan Lazard has been just hanging on. I was going to take this guy last one. I'm not. Actually, let's see. I'll take Alan Lazard. We're going to load it up. We're going to take a chance on the Packer. Only 33 receptions last year. I don't think he's going to be. Well, let's see. Do they have Amari Rodgers too? Let's see. Let's look at this. Interesting. There's Nico Collins. Way down there. D.D. Westbrook. Oh, man. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take somebody I have a lot of confidence in, and that's Emmanuel Sanders, right? We'll go ahead and lock that one up. We're back around after 4. We got 2 more picks. So we have 3 QBs. We got a couple. We got our running back room pretty much set. I mean, I could handcuff somebody at this point. Truth is, we're going to be trading people quite a bit. So let's see here. I think I'm going to take Jerick McKinnon. I think there's some potential back there. I don't know. They're saying he's number 3rd on the depth charts. The same's true for Malcolm Brown. I don't know, though. I kind of... yeah. I don't know. We could go get Malcolm Brown right now. Let's just look at the upside with the wide receivers. We got Allen Lazard, Slayton, Meyer. Sorry for that pause. I was thinking so much. That's how it gets in this, though. It's just like a real draft for me, man. And you got to practice like you play. I'm kind of in the depths of like, what am I going to do right now? I'm going to go ahead and take Amari Rodgers. I think he was drafted with the purpose and a plan. I've been taking him late. That's why I didn't go with Allen Lazard. I do think Amari Rodgers is possibly going to have a lot better year than Allen Lazard. Amari Rodgers. That could be interesting, Rodgers to Rodgers. Blankenship off the board. The kickers are starting to go. Here we go. I think this is the last pick. Always interesting. I got to go Nico Collins. I think there's potential there in Houston for him to step up and be... He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the dimensions. Houston's bad, but they could be playing from behind in a lot of games. Could be a lot of garbage points coming from Nico Collins. All right, they did not like my draft. I went after some people out there. That's another cool thing about Fantasy Pros. The last draft I did, I got a 96. This one, they gave me a 62. Don't put too much weight into that. You know what I'm saying? Just let it be your draft. You need to be who you want to be. So to review it, here we go with the draft picks. We got Lamar Jackson, Austin Eckler, David Montgomery, Cooper Kupp, Jarvis Landry, Mike Williams, Darren Waller. In the flex to begin with, I went with 2 running backs, James Robinson, David Johnson. I just thought there was too much value out there. Running backs, 12-team leagues even. When you have this many running backs and the potential of somebody having 5 starting running backs per week, I mean, that's what the potential is. Somebody could have 5 running backs in their lineup. You got to go get them, because that puts a premium on what you can do with running backs. If somebody does that route and just loads up, let's say, their first 5 or 6 picks with running backs, that's going to put a hamper on the rest of the league. Because let's just say in that time, every other team took 2. So you got 22. Now you got 27 running backs, and you're not even out of the 6th round. It's going to be hard. That's going to be difficult. So always load up on your running backs. You got James Robinson, David Johnson in the flex. I got Kirk Cousins in my super flex. Feeling really good about that. We went with Justin Tucker to backdoor Lamar Jackson. Get as many points as we can on Baltimore. I feel like there could be some kicks against Cleveland, against Pittsburgh, against some pretty good defenses down in that red zone. J.D. McKissic on the bench. Gold. Go get McKissic, guys. I don't know why y'all guys are letting him fall to like 160, 170. It's freaking ridiculous. All right. T.Y. Hilton also on there. Sterling Shepard. Noah Fant is our backup tight end. He could come into some flex. I do see some weeks where Denver could have some high volume playing from behind in the second half. Noah Fant has very great reliable hands and often gets better mismatches than Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy. All right, then we backed it up to Tyrod Taylor. Almost a panic pick, but I did want 3 quarterbacks, and we were getting down to where there was only Tyrod Taylors and Jimmy Garoppolo's and stuff left. So I went with the guy that I think is going to start all 17 games for the Houston Texans. Emmanuel Sanders was a great late-round scoop for me. I kind of went with some guys that I've always go with late. Emmanuel Sanders, Amari Rodgers, and Nico Collins. They're just, the ceiling could be there for them. Emmanuel Sanders has always been great. He's teaming up with Josh Allen. He's going to have Stephon Diggs across from him. Gabriel Davis will be in there. I don't know how much he'll get, but Buffalo doesn't have a great tight end. Knox is okay. He's not really a pass catcher. So I see a lot of Emmanuel Sanders. I see a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. They're going to rely on Josh Allen because Singletary's going to have to step it up. Moss is going to have to step it up. But their strength is always going to be Josh Allen and their wide receivers. So look for it to happen. Buffalo's a hard place to throw. Josh Allen can cut that win, though, baby. Amari Rodgers, I've already told you guys, I think that they drafted him with the purpose. They're going to put him in a plan, implement him really quickly, and he's going to be like Deebo Samuel. He's going to be like Brandon Ayuk. He's going to be used all over the place, that little short little pass they do behind the line of scrimmage, and let that guy with all his momentum just scoot to the outside. I see that happening. Amari Rodgers is a national championship. Played for Clemson. So he's bringing some winning attitude. He doesn't like losing. All right, that's the bottom line. And then Nico Collins to wrap it up. I just see a high ceiling there. I kind of went with 2 Houston players. That's all right, or 3 Houston players. I went quarterback, running back, wide receiver. This can all change. You can draft. That's how the Warrior Bowl is. Your roster's not set. It's not a best ball draft. All right, so there you have it, Bruce Lee, guys. What do you think about that? Come at me. Be like water. Be water, my friends. Flow. But no punches pulled. That was weird. If I get the 10th spot, that's going to be very interesting because the running backs I really like were gone. And I really don't ever take a wide receiver with my first pick. I just think it's a waste. It might not be, but it's just not my strategy. So there you have it. Got a grade. Remember, Fantasy Pros, dude. Yeah, I could do this right now. Go do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again. And within the first hour, I could probably have 3 mock drafts done. Specifically catered to the points of my league with the people amount and everything. I mean, how do you not like that? I'm going to dominate, baby. You better go get this Fantasy Pros. You ain't going to be able to hang with me. All right, man. Let's just wrap it up real quick with some basketball. You guys know I love basketball so much. The Suns, everybody. The Suns are going to win it. They are unstoppable. Suns in 4. You should hear it. It's hyperbolic, man. It's crazy. But I do live in the Southwest. So I get it. There's a lot of Phoenix hype, a lot of California hype. And they deserve it. And I love CP3, man. I've been a CP3 fan since Pelicans days, man. I think he's a great basketball player. I think he's not appreciated enough. But the truth was, man, that first quarter was competitive. And then right before halftime, the Bucks just were like, let's go get it. Giannis went off. Middleton kind of went off right there. I think he only scored 3 points in the second half, which is brutal. But the truth is the Bucks really never let off until they had their second string in, and then Phoenix was able to get some easy points. Didn't win on a couple best balls last night. Middleton wasn't quite what I thought he was going to be there for, but you can get some value. What you got to do is you got to nail that cheaper value. Cameron Johnson, I picked him up in a couple of them. He was pretty good. He got 30 minutes, 5 rebounds, 14 points. So that's pretty good. Jay Crowder was one of them for me too. When you look at the Suns scoring, Jay Crowder is so much cheaper than DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, or Devin Booker, and he finished with more points than Booker, the same amount of points as Ayton, and 1 point less than Chris Paul. And he played the second most minutes. Chris Paul played the most minutes. Jay Crowder played the second most minutes. They had an off night. I knew they would. There was just way too much hype going into the Bucks, like they were just going to get swept. The Bucks have only lost 1 playoff game at home this series, or the 2021 playoffs, and it was against a very hot Trae Young, and they only lost by 3 points, and then lost it in the last seconds of the game. I don't think you can just march in and go into a 2-time MVP's house and win. Say what you want about Giannis. I have him up here, 41 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and he did it in 38 minutes, man. That's something special. So to put that in perspective, Drew Holiday had 21 points. Chris Middleton had 18. And then after that, it goes 11 to Lopez, 11 to Portis, and 7 to P.J. Tucker, 8 to Cunningham. So Giannis is the Bucks. He's a great defender. He was getting rebounds out the wazoo. In the first half, the first quarter, I think he had 5 assists. So he was dishing it off. You can see what they're doing. You're driving in the paint, Giannis, you're going to dish it off. You're going to drive it in the paint, you're going to dish it off. Once you get 3 or 4 defenders on you, you've done your job. Find the open man. They've got to make the basket. And once that started to happen, it allowed Giannis to just start coming in that paint. He fought for a lot of rebounds, and he did it, man. So I'm really proud of Giannis. It was a really good game. And, it's just what it breaks down to. Drew Holiday had 9 assists, 21 points, 5 rebounds. He was a captain for one of my teams. It worked out well that way. Bobby Portis coming off the bench with 11 points, 8 rebounds, almost getting the double-double, 1 assist in 18 minutes, man. He doesn't play that many minutes, but when he does, he plays very intensely. The crowd gets on top of him. They're yelling at him, Bobby. He's like the 6th man. And the crowd's yelling, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. I mean, that's got to be such a good feeling. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. But that's the 6th man, 18 minutes. That's how much you can charge the home crowd. I think it's going to be really hard to win in Milwaukee. I won't be surprised if this series goes to 7 games. It's just I don't know that the Bucks are going to lose on their home court. I really don't. And the Suns might not lose on their home court. But if the Suns lose Game 5, watch out. That could be the death blow. Because if the Bucks win Game 4, turn around and win Game 5, they're not going to lose Game 6 at home. So be prepared for that. We will be getting in some more bets. Like I said, I placed a couple bets on soccer yesterday. I placed a couple bets on this game yesterday. We'll be getting into it. There's no NBA tonight, so just keep that in mind. We're kind of tapering off. We're all just waiting for the football now, guys. It's just the Milwaukee Bucks Suns is going to be very good, and I think people were expecting it to be a blowout. Like, it's just weird how crazy the media just will jump on the Bucks. And they took down the Nets. They took down their team. They took down the team that, if you were listening to popular media out there, they were telling you go throw your house, go throw your neighbor's house, put the boat in the car. Don't worry about it. The Nets are going to win it. Lock it, sealed and delivered, baby. Well, that wasn't it. That was not the case. And I wouldn't count the Milwaukee Bucks out. I think this is going to be a very better series than people anticipated, and I can't wait for Game 4. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up out of here. Thank you so much for joining me with the Warrior Bowl. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody, check out IDP Iggy. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're in a big group on Facebook. I've been, getting a lot of responses on there. I really appreciate it. And we're also on TikTok. We check out www.iggysfantasyandbetting.com, guys. And when you do that, the podcast is the first thing. If you scroll down just a little bit, it has the like a Google form link that some of you filled out and some of you haven't. And it's okay if you haven't, but it's just a lot easier for me to find you, to send you the draft kit. And this is the Google form for the charity league, the Kawasaki Fantasy Football Sevens Charity League. Please go sign up for it. It'll be a lot of fun. And then there's a donation link right underneath it. So it's like the Google form, and the donation link sets it up to our business account. I promise you 100% of this is all going to research. Like I said, my daughter was severely affected by this, and we want to help out other people in the way that they helped out us. And it's KawasakiKids.org. You can go check out their website. #BraveKids, #StrongHearts. And I received a lot of help yesterday, man. We were able to fill up a lot of the league, and I'm really thankful for everybody that helped out. And I got even more than I anticipated with Greg and Folio, and they informed me that, dig this, guys, on top of winning 90s memorabilia for the top 4 people, I'll send you Sports Illustrated. I got rookie cards probably from anybody's favorite team. If I got to buy something online for you, I'll send it. I don't care if you're in BFE. BFE, if you don't know where that is, that's a bum freak Egypt, right? It's way out in the middle of nowhere. If you're out there, I'll still make sure you get it. All right, I'm going to make sure I do that for you, man. 100% of all proceeds go into the league. And on top of that, Warrior Bowls, thank you, Greg, thank you, Folio, guaranteed spot in the 2022 Warrior Bowl, guys. There's people out there talking about how they felt bad because they didn't get in this one. Well, it's only going to keep growing. I promise you that, and it's going to become a hard thing to get into as the popularity of this rises. So how about that 2022 Warrior Bowl guaranteed spot? Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Folio. Just give that to the winner. The last week we're going to have, if all the conferences fill, we'll have 8 teams battling it out in week 17. The highest score of those teams wins. Everybody that wins that match will get something, and then the highest of the winners automatically get a shot into the Warrior Bowl 2022, get a championship ring, get some 90s memorabilia. A lot on the line, helping a great, great, great cause. Not too many people know about it. Please go find out about it. It's Kawasaki's kids. It's Kawasaki's disease. It's relatively new. In fact, I believe it was discovered in the 70s. And it's the leading heart disease in the developed nation. So we need to get on this. Everybody needs to get on it, all right? I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you. Shout out to the Warrior Bowl. Coming at you, Bruce Lee division. Woo! Bringing it hot, baby. I might do one more of these next week. We'll just have to see. And it's a lot of fun. Hey, remember, go check out Fantasy Pros. Click the link, get the affiliate, get a discount, start drafting, get ready to dominate your league. All right, guys. I love y'all. I really appreciate y'all listening worldwide. And we'll be back tomorrow. We're back to 5 days a week, baby. You know I don't take no breaks. Bill Belichick would have loved me, baby. No days off. No days off. I'm just kidding, man. Y'all enjoy it. Have a good Monday. I love y'all, and I'll see you soon. Peace.